Day 30, year-round tree. With the time it passes by, we put away the trim. Then we leave and wonder why we can't remember him. The Christmas star shines once a year and then it fades away. Keep the spirit in your heart. It's Christmas every day. Christmas every day, Kenny Rogers. When my wife and I were living in Fort Worth, Texas, and I was attending seminary, we were invited to attend a small Bible study sponsored by a local church. We were excited. Our families were hours away in Missouri, and we hadn't made many friends yet, so we jumped at the chance to connect with other believers. The leader of the group gave us the address where the group met and the day and time. On the scheduled night, we searched out the place. We walked tentatively up to the front door and knocked on it, just in case we had the wrong house. When the man whose house it was opened the door, we explained we were looking for a small Bible study that was supposed to meet in that area. With a broad smile, he told us we had found the place, introduced himself, and invited us in. One of the first things we noticed as we walked in was a large Christmas tree in the corner of the living room. That wouldn't have seemed odd if it had been November or December. However, this was late June. Plus, the tree wasn't decorated with Christmas lights and ornaments, but with flags and red and white and blue ribbons. No one else that night seemed to pay any attention to the tree, so we didn't ask. We joined the group and continued to attend the weekly gatherings at that house. The tree stayed up in the corner, but the decorations changed about once a month to match the season or a major holiday that month. Finally, I asked the group leader about it. He said I should ask the man and wife in whose house we met. It was an interesting story, and they wouldn't be offended by my question. The next week, I asked the husband about the tree. He explained that one year, not long before Christmas, one of his daughters became ill and was hospitalized. While she was in the hospital, they put up their Christmas tree. She loved Christmas trees, so she begged them not to take it down until she got home. She wound up in the hospital a long time, so it was well after Christmas when she came home. However, they left the Christmas tree up for her, all decorated for Christmas. When they tried to take it down, she begged them to leave it up. In the end, they decided to leave it up year-round and change the decorations periodically. As I've thought about that story, I've realized having a Christmas tree up year-round isn't that odd. After all, our relationship with Christ shouldn't be packed away when the Christmas season ends and then pulled out in a year. We should try to live for him every day. In Luke 9:23, Jesus describes what living for him every day involves. He said to all, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me." He said to all. Shows what he is saying applies to everyone, not just to a special group of super saints. The phrase "come after me" meant to be someone's disciple. Disciples in the first century didn't just learn and accept the teachings of a teacher. They strove to become like their master in all areas of life. Everyone, when he is fully trained, will be like his teacher. Luke 6:40. As Christians, we should continually be growing in every way more and more like Christ. Ephesians 4:15. In order to do this, a person must deny himself. Often people live by the question, "What do I want?" However, if a person is to be a follower of Christ, he must choose to live by a different question. What does Christ want? Additionally, a person must take up his cross daily. Some people mistakenly think Jesus had in mind difficulties in life when he spoke of taking up your cross. My cross is my bad health. My cross is my mean boss, spouse, neighbor, etc. A cross in the first century had only one meaning. It was the Roman instrument for executing the worst of criminals. So Jesus isn't talking about putting up with difficult circumstances or difficult people. He's calling us to be willing to pay any price to obey him, even if it means dying. That's what he did. Being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Philippians 2:8. Taking up one's cross isn't a one-time act, but a daily decision. Every day we must make it our aim to please him. 2 Corinthians 5:9. Being willing to do whatever it takes to do so. Follow me describes repetitive, ongoing activity. This following involves at least three things. The first of these involves spending time getting to know him. Disciples in the first century spent a long time with their master. In this process, they got to know him and gradually became more like him, as he appointed 12, whom he also named apostles, so that they might be with him. Mark 3:14. Jesus called the 12 so that they might be with him. Living for Christ every day demands spending time with him in his word and prayer. It involves walking through every hour and every minute of the day in constant awareness of his presence, speaking to him and listening to him. This leads to the second part of following, continually obeying him. Through the Holy Spirit, Christ is continually working in us, giving us the desire and the power to do what pleases him. Philippians 2:13. Our task is to keep in step with the Spirit. Galatians 5:25. Quickly obeying his prompting. As we do this, the Spirit produces in us Christ-like character. Galatians 5:22 and 23. However, spending time with Christ and obeying him aren't the only aspects of following him. Follow me and I will make you fishers of men. Matthew 4:19. Following Jesus also involves participating with him in his mission. It includes allowing him to work through us to change the lives of those around us. This is what living for Jesus means every day. It involves deliberately denying ourselves, taking up our cross, and following him. As this Christmas season draws to a close, I hope you'll make a deliberate commitment to live for him every day of the coming new year. I hope this commitment doesn't fade like most New Year's resolutions. Instead, I hope it transforms your life as you live each day asking a new question. What does Jesus want? And as you joyfully pay any price to give him what he wants, to following him wherever he leads. At our house, we won't be leaving our Christmas tree up all year, but we will be striving to keep our focus on the Christ of Christmas every day. Why not join us in this great adventure?